just like crazy, but completely digital and immersed into that space. So the monetization opportunity is endless. So you take the data out of that Miami experience at Formula One, and it translates into Austin. It translates into wherever Formula One's going next, right?
Yep. Yep, and I mean the data itself now, what we're able to capture, so in these installations we can embed so many different sensors, so we can read dwell time, gaze time, foot traffic, heart rates. We can say when you came up to the installation, you were at this state of stress and anxiety. When you left, you stayed here for 2 minutes. When you left, you were at this reduced state. That data is very valuable, not only to show how effective that they are, but when we do them in public installations for a city, we're able to actually begin for the first time giving a city a temperature on the wellness of their collective community.
So it gives them metrics of their own that they could use for other purposes.
Yep.
So in the hospital example.
Yep, we can tell where the highest anxiety touch points are. That can help us to be able to figure out, okay, we need another installation here, or we need some kind of touch point over here, because when they walk from this traffic pattern, they are in a higher state of anxiety when they get here than they are from other areas. So there's so much that can be done with this human-driven data, really beginning to look at our states of being and how do we, because we look at data and so much it's been used to just sell us more stuff and things on social media, but when you start to really look at human-driven data and how do we change our state of being, how do we actually begin to focus on wellness with that information, I think that to me is where I think we have to go at this point, but we're having a lot of fun doing it.
You have to have fun while you do it. I mean, I'll tell you, we went through, for this particular project, this is in South Florida, and the idea is they wanted to create a digital cube at the entrance of this sales center. It's a real estate developer in Miami called PMG. And you could tell by the content, the bricks that you see there on the floor, they flow, they follow inside the content. And we probably did probably a dozen or so different content concepts just to get the ball rolling until the balls moving around was finally exciting to them. And then once we created this concept, they're like, okay, we want more. I'm like, what does more look like? They go, well, we sell real estate. We're a condo tower, and we just launched a second tower. So we want the left tower over there on the one side, another condo tower on the other side. And before you know it, they didn't put a fork in the ground, and they sold $1.2 billion worth of condos without even starting construction, based off this experience when they walked into the sales center. That's crazy. 1.2 billion with a little digital cube. It's crazy. Now, it helped that South Florida was open throughout COVID, and that definitely obviously helped a little bit. Not to get into politics. Sorry, I already made my one comment today. It'll stop from here on. But if you look at these types of spaces, there's a lot more you can do than just what you see on the surface, so to speak, because once you have a digital canvas, it's endless. And I'll tell you something crazy. So they sold out of the condo towers, $1.2 billion worth of condos, okay? And they're about to launch a new project literally around the block. So the first thing they said is like, okay, great, we just need new content now. So you already have all the digital infrastructure, you already have the LED, now let's do something curated on the content to sell the next project. I mean, you see all the time, it's not just a one-time fixed installation, that's day one, and then there's day two.
Yeah, and these artists are able to collaborate on so many different levels. So we would do them for performances. I mean, before there was this level of expectation for these kinds of installations, these artists were doing mostly concert visuals. So they understand human perception. They understand how to get a crowd to respond the way that they want them to. But there's definitely so much opportunity for them, whether it's on a brand level like that, or if they're bringing, say, a performer in, at the pool over there at 11, they're, they like the good party time, so.
I think they call it the Vegas-style pool in Miami, right? That's what they're going for, I think, if I recall correctly.
Yeah, so we can continuously change the content based around whoever they're working with all the time.
Yeah, and it's interesting. It's not exclusive, to a real estate world. We are now getting requests for the first time. There's a lot of financial firms now for the first time, for example, moving into South Florida. I'm just using that example. And when they moved down to South Florida, there's one particular hedge fund manager that is a friend of mine, and he said to me that my new condo, I have all these columns, and I'm a big digital artist guy. I love art. I curate. I buy a lot of different art, and I want to have my digital art Again, not what everyone else has. I want it exclusive to me, custom art that's curated, that I own it. And now, going back to that example we said a second ago about that real estate office, they actually sold an NFT. So when you buy an apartment, you get the apartment deed that you're buying on the 40th floor. You actually owned your apartment also in the metaverse. That was part of the deal. They were also the first developer to offer condo purchases with a cryptocurrency. So you could actually buy your apartment with crypto.